Hi, I'm Matt with Etrailer, and today we're talking about the Titan chain tire chains with assisted tensioning on our 2022 GMC Sierra 1500. Now we're going to have this on our rear axle as what the manual recommends, and our tire size is going to be 275, 60, R20. Now this will fit a variety of different tire sizes. That's just the one we have today. If you're unsure if this will fit your vehicle, you can plug in your vehicle's information into our fit guide to find what's going to be the correct fit for you. So let's check it out. These are going to be a great set of chains if you are trying to get through those moderate snow and ice conditions, and they are pretty easy to get on since you don't have to get underneath your vehicle. Now this is probably one of the max sizes I'd recommend on this vehicle because it does get pretty close to our suspension on the back. To really show you what I'm talking about, you can see my hand is able to fit between our suspension and chains, and it's enough of a gap, and these chains are a pretty good fit on here that I'm not worried about this making contact. Taking a look at the top of our chains, what I do like about these is going to be the square link design, and this is what's going to give you more bite through ice and snow. We're also going to have this nickel alloy construction, so these are going to be very sturdy chains, and they're going to be weather resistant, so they're going to last you a long time. We're also going to have this diamond pattern to our chains, and what that's going to do is give us more surface area on the tire, overall giving us more traction. And in the center, we're going to have these yellow coated links, and that's for if it were to ever make contact with your rim. Right here is a good example. It's going to be less likely of scratching anything up. Which takes me to this tensioning device we have on here. The way this works is we're going to have this link or these chains that come through and apply pressure to these eyelets, and since this is made out of rubber right here at the top, it has the ability to stretch. So if this ever does loosen up, it'll be able to help keep tension on the chains. Our chains are going to come in a set of 2, and it's going to come in this bag. I do like this bag because it is relatively pretty flat, so it'll be really easy to store. And it's made out of the soft material, so it's pretty easy to handle. And when I open it up, we're going to have these pockets so you can store your chains separately so they don't get tangled together. Now, in my opinion, I think these are a great set of chains if you are going through those more moderate snow and ice conditions and you need that extra traction. They're also pretty easy to get on and off our tires too, since we don't have to get underneath our truck. If you are looking for something that might be a little bit more easier in the long run to install, and it's going to actually have a self-tensioning system on it instead of an assisted tensioning system, then I would recommend a Koenig tire chain. And the way that's going to work is going to grab onto your lug nut instead. Now that is a much more premium tire chain, and honestly I think this is going to do you just as well. But if you're curious to see what this installation looks like, just stay tuned and we'll walk you through the process. To start off the installation, I'm going to lay our chains out and grab some gloves just to make this easier. If you are doing this for the first time, I recommend staying home and trying this out because you don't want to have to try to figure this out on the side of the road in the middle of a blizzard. But what we're looking for is to make sure there's no damages to our links and nothing's tangled up. Once that looks good, we want to make sure everything's in the correct orientation. So we're going to have these hooks. We want this flat side facing up, and that's going to be the side that's against the tire. We're also going to have these gray cords on the back closest to our tire, and on the other side, we're going to have our yellow links closest to us. We also want to make sure it's not connected here in the center yet, so just make sure you undo that. Once that looks good, we can push everything to their sides and push it behind our tire. I'm just going to make sure nothing gets tangled up. Push it across and feed it through. A lot of times this hook can get stuck. Just kind of wiggle it around a little bit and you can get it through. And if everything looks good still, then we lift up on the back and make this connection over here. That's just going to consist of this channel, this metal block, seating into each other. We want to maintain control of our chains drape them over the rest of our tire. Try to make sure everything looks pretty even. We're going to make a connection on the front side with this green hook and these yellow links, just like that. And here I like to try to center this on the tire so it's not hanging too low, making contact with our rim, but not too high either. Then I'll go over to the bottom, grab these gray links, run them through this red channel, just like that. I'll apply some pressure to make sure this feels pretty tight. And then I'm going to run this through these red eyelets. Each time I go through one, I either apply pressure or tension. And then eventually, we'll be able to get this so it can reach across to the other side. And if it's a little bit too tough, just kind of go up some until you can make that connection. After that, just give it a good old pull. Make sure this feels pretty good. I'm liking the way this feels. Then we can just repeat that process on the other side. And then what I recommend doing is either backing up or pulling forward some. And then checking this again to make sure nothing shifted too much and if it still feels good. And if it does, then you can take it out for a ride. But that's just a look at the installation and some of the features of the Titan Chains tire chains on our 2022 GMC Sierra 1500. Thanks for watching.